Children in Islam, first of all, they are considered to be joy. They are a source of joy. They are considered as a blessing in Islam. And not only that, in fact, the Quran says that it is an adornment or beautification in this life, having children. The Quran says wealth and children are the adornment of this worldly life, but the everlasting good deeds are far better with your Lord in reward and in hope. Having children are considered to be a blessing. They are considered to be a source of joy. But with all that, we have to make sure that they are good. They are good citizens. They have a good relationship with God. They are kind to their parents. They are effective leaders and effective citizens. In Islam, there are some aspects that it is considered an automatic obligations upon parents to be a gift given to those kids. First of all, you have to make sure that you select a modest mother for that kids. So Islam is so selective about this to a point that it is considered to be the first stepping stone in terms of fulfilling the rights of the parents. The woman that you're going to marry should be a pious, religious, modest, a woman, hardworking woman, all good qualities that you're looking for in life. You should make sure that woman is trying to get to the best of all of that. Then, the raising process of that children, the upbringing of your kids will be very easy because the woman, the mother, will always teach the kids with those moral conduct. And among the automatic rights of children upon their parents is that when they are given birth, you should make sure that they have a very beautiful names. Give them a beautiful names in Islam. And in fact, in Islam, we have a charity that we give on behalf of those newborn baby. It's called Al-Aqiqah. It's where you will invite family members, friends, co-workers to come and celebrate that joy, the arrival of that newborn baby. And among the rights is that we should always be a good role model. And here is one of the rights that we would like to talk about today, showing love and kindness to our kids. That is the rights upon us. Islam teaches us that. And among the rights of our children upon us is to teach them, to educate them spiritually, to educate them with our religion, and also to teach them with moral conduct. And among the rights of children is that parents should provide them financially, food, shelter, healthcare, education, clothing. Another rights that we give to our children is to protect them from physical harm, from violence, psychological harm, indoctrination. Nowadays, you have like in many schools, teachers or the school systems will try to mix among gender. Teach kids that, well, there's no distinctions among gender. So all these, as a parent, we have to detoxicate the mind when they come home. We have to stand strong to give them that strong personality that they will always observe the root teachings of Islam. And among the rights of children upon us in Islam is the enhancement for the formations of their strong personality that manifest in them being a good servants to God. They will obey God, they will worship God, they will have the consciousness of God in their interactions with others. They will be obedience to their parents. They will be kind to their neighbors. They will be good citizens and effective leaders at the end. And among the things that Islam teaches us as Muslims, that it is considered to be the rights of children is to stand with vulnerable kids around the world. We should stand with them. We should stand and protect them from kidnapping, from being kidnapped, from being trafficking and sex slave. Protect them from child labors. We should stand and advocate for their privacy. We should adopt them if they are in need of adoptions. We should also review their placement if they need to be placed under supervision. We should also help children from refugees, family, orphans, disabled. All these are considered to be rights upon Muslims that they should advocate for, they should stand for, they should help and protect children all around the world. So these are a few brief informations that we wanted to share with you today about the rights of children in Islam. And if you have any question, please be free and ask us again. Thank you. And I know very well these are some of the value that you all share, regardless of being from different faith background. But there are inspiring informations that I think Christianity, Judaism, all of us stands to help and support and protect the children. If you have any questions or other observations or any input, please try to speak.
Yes, like you, yes, we believe they're a gift from God,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
children are very precious. So we're very grateful for children. It's such an honor.
It is.
An honor to be parents and to have that privilege.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah.
I just wish the adoption wasn't so complicated here.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because there's a lot of children that, I mean, they just make it so complicated, and then you have to spend so much money just to adopt somebody. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is. It's very. I understand. Really, it's so complicated. So it's very hard to a point. It's just been complicated to a point that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you hear all these stories about these kids who want a family and stuff, but it's, I mean, people would like to, it's just like not everybody can afford that kind of, I mean, it's like more expensive than giving birth, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
fact,
giving birth today is really expensive.
It is very expensive. I know. I remember that.
Yeah, they're children. What does that look like overseas for families and
yeah,
adoption?
back overseas is very, very, very simple to adopt. In the sense that they have agencies that are in charge of this. So the most important thing is that they will try to track the background of this person who wants to adopt and to see these kids what they need, so they will match it up. And the government will be there to help and support financially, that will put the whole structure in place. So they will give if the parents need help, and there will be allowance that will be given to those parents that are adopting, and also they will make sure that the educational needs of this kid is being met. And there will be a constant supervisions to the homes of the adopted family, and it is considered, in fact, to be righteousness. It's considered to be a good deed in Islam from that perspective. So it's in fact encouraged and supportive in those culture.
Probably in every culture.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions, if I may.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for the presentation.
Yeah.
And this is just, for me, learning from you. So in Islam, since we talk about children, is contraceptives, authorized in Islam, or is it like, okay, if you marry, Allah, God provides for the children, and you should just have children as many as you want, or how does that, how does Islam, relates to that, or
Yeah.
talks about that?
Well, Islam is a balanced religion
Okay.
that encourages us to balance our life in all aspects. So, if God gives you the opportunity to have children, first of all, you will acknowledge the blessings in it. And second, having them does not go without responsibility. It differs from country to country.
Yes.
Now in America, everything is about material. So everything is materialistic, so life is so expensive. But in other country, the least amount of money that you can earn here, that will be more than enough to raise your family, to put them in good school, to keep them in better middle class life standard. So it differs from country to country, from place to place, and from civilizations to civilizations. Islamically, Islam encourages us to have children because the aspect is, as long as you can provide for them, as long as you can provide not only financially for them, but try to raise them up in a proper manner. That's the most important thing. To make them a good servant of God, to make them a good person in the community, where they will be a role model for others. They will be a leader in religion, in their faith for others. Then you're encouraged to have more kids. As long as you can provide for them, you can stand with them, you can teach them, you can make sure to bring them, to give them proper upbringing. So at that point, it becomes more encouraging. And not only that, it is considered to be a righteous act where you have kids. But if you're lack of means to raise them, to put them in good school, to even have time to sit with them, to raise them, to teach them about spirituality, about religion, then Islam will always mandate that you should know what you're doing.
Okay.
And then at that point, you will be instructed that this is not good for you. You have to maintain a stable standard where you can have a good family, good children, and you can raise them and give them their rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you pro-vaccine?
Vaccine?
I'm pro-vaccine. Is the question.
Say that again?
Are you pro-vaccine?
Oh yeah, pro-vaccine. I am. As long as like I have children. We take them to school, and the school will recommend us to have some vaccines. So we will take them to the hospital, and I will try to investigate all these vaccines that they're trying to give. As a parent, it becomes a right upon me to know.
I can tell you that they just approved, the CDC just approved the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine to be included in the children's vaccines.
Yeah, I think before week I went to the hospital with my kids, and they asked me that we want to give this to them. I said no. I said, what is the bare minimum vaccine that you guys can allow my children to go to school to learn? They said, well, at this point it's not necessary. What is required are these, so we'll give them that. I told them, said, I'm just for that for now.
Well, there is a religious exempt. I mean, you can say, there are forms and things where you could say it's not, it's against my religion.
Yeah, you can definitely. I think
you
even
wanted to.
during the COVID, there were some exempts that we giving, but we also try to look after the public health to maintain the public health standard. So we will encourage, as long as CDCs and all those institutions are encouraging to go for vaccine, they will be vaccinated. But what all that are not necessary, we will always try to be cautious about it and be very careful about it.
And as organization level, we organize every year flu shot clinic here in this center. And at the COVID time, we also organize a COVID shot clinic also.
Yes.
Because as Mom said, the preservation of life has the utmost importance in Islam. So That is why I think this
Yeah.
Well, I know they
preventive-
did an Israeli study, and in the Israeli study, I think 30 or more percent of those that were injected with the COVID-19 vaccine became sterile. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you're aware of that, but
Very informative. Yeah,
and it's not just in Israel. I mean, it's other.
part of the world.
Mhm.
Yeah, we definitely, from the religious, where Muhammad just mentioned, from the religious perspective, we were more of like supportive about maintaining public health, safety, and all this stuff. So we encourage, as long as there were Muslims doctors that were on the board approving it, and we invited most of the doctors from the UNMC, and they came and gave us honest advice about it, what they think about it from the medical standpoint. And then we, as a religious scholar, we try to integrate what they told us into the Islamic dimensions and just give community with feedback. So that's how we went. So we brought those doctors. Most of the doctors out there are Muslims. We brought them. They came here and gave us very informative information about the vaccines, why it is necessary, why should we take it. So we then look into the scriptures and found if there is a necessity, we can rely upon this to integrate these sentiments in our community. So that's how we play with it. And there were some Orthodox among us who didn't come close to it. They said that we don't want it, and we couldn't force them. We gave them sincere advice, and they kept away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just encourage you to do more research on it.
Oh yeah, I will.
Because I heard, there's already been an article. So, is it one of the Kennedys?
Mm-hmm.
He took it to the Supreme Court
Mhm.
with the COVID vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
and they proved in Supreme Court. This was last year. They proved in the Supreme Court that it was not a vaccine, that it didn't classify as a vaccine, and therefore it should not be enforced.
Wow.
And the reason why is because it didn't have the live virus or the dead virus inside, and that it was actually altering the DNA and targeting your mRNA
Oh,
and
no.
altering it. So, yeah,
I
I would
think
just kinda,
we will definitely agree about it
Yeah.
and try to see how best it is. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for that information.
mhm.
Yeah.
Question?
How did our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam interact and raise children?
Oh, very good point, Jacob. That's a very good question. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was a role model for us. He interacted with them based upon love, kindness, a good role model. He, first of all, will always take them as a joy, receive them, and show them to be part of him. I will give you a few examples that will illustrate his interactions with kids. There was a young, one of his grandson, Al Hassan and Hussein. He grabbed this little boy and kissed his forehead. And in the Arabian Peninsula at the time, they were barbaric. They were very tough people. So there was an old man who saw him. So, but why you will treat this little kid like this? And then the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, there is no mercy for anyone who does not show mercy to children. See, you have to show mercy to them in order for God to accept you. And then another example is that there was a little boy who loves to have pets, birds, pigeon. So this little boy, parent found him a pigeon, and the Prophet ﷺ heard about this story. So he went to visit this little boy to give him congratulations, to thank him and give him words of encouragement of achieving something in his life. So after 2 or 3 days, the little bird died. And he heard that this boy is crying because his pigeon died. So the Prophet ﷺ went all the way to this house, to this little boy's house, to sympathize with him and show him good words, say that I will make sure that we will replace the lost pigeon. I came to stand with you, to support you, to sympathize with you, to say that we are here for you. So see how he was so kind with children. And that's why when he always appeared, children will always run towards him to embrace him. But in many cultures, when there's an elder person, kids will be trembling, running away. They don't want to interact with elder people. They're scared. Maybe he might shout at me or tell me something. But he was the opposite of that. He used to embrace them, take care of them. Another example was that the Prophet, peace be upon him, his daughter, he will receive her. A young daughter, when the Prophet ﷺ see his daughter coming, he himself will leave his chair to place his daughter on that chair to show the love and support for his daughter. So all these are examples of Prophet ﷺ being kind, interactive with children. And he said that children are joy, considered to be joy, and show kindness to them. And the best of you is the one who is kind and best to their family. So he was very kind, very supportive towards children.
Thank you.
Okay.
I do have another question. So
Yep.
This is Q&A. What is the crescent moon with the star symbol for you guys?
Oh, it is just during the Ottoman Empire, that was a sign that people will know that there is a prayer hall. So you have the big stone that we have. So they place those on it in order for people to know that there is a mosque. There is just a sign. It's a symbolic. During the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, we didn't have that. But nowadays, people wanted to just put mark on it in order to let others know that there is a place for prayer hall. There is a prayer hall. So the moon is always, we go by the lunar moon. So that is a star that shows that, just symbolic, and from that standpoint. Yeah. It is all about representation. There's no religious connotations added to it, just to show that this place is designated for prayer and call.
What's your favorite part of the Quran?
Quran? Oh. I read all throughout, and
Favorite
the
quote?
I read all on like a monthly basis. I'll make sure from cover to cover we read, and today I teach more than 25 kids today with Quran. So every one of them, girls, boys, every one of them in their specific level. So you will have them, teach them, go around, all around, crisscross, help them to pronounce it well, for them to read.
Do you read it in Arabic or in English?
Yes, in Arabic.
Oh.
Yeah, we read it in Arabic, but there's English translations to it.
So you teach them in both, or no?
Oh yeah, I teach them with Quran, give them the interpretations of it, and at the end we do social study. Social study class is about who are they, what are the Islamic identity, what are some of the norms that they have to learn, what are some of the ethic when they're dealing with others out there, how they should be respectful to elders, how they should be respectful to their moms and their parents, what they should do when they go home, how they should maintain order when they're in public setting, when hygiene, we teach them hygiene, how they should do hygiene, and the way they should speak to others. We teach them everything, how they should be very good.
What's in the Quran?
In the Quran, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quran comprises of stories of previous nations. It also teaches us with legislations, what we should do, what we should not do. It also teaches us with norms, stories. So we will find in the Quran our dietary policy, what we should eat, what we should not eat, what we should consume, what we should not consume. Like we cannot drink alcohol, we cannot eat pork. All those are being mentioned in the And then other part of the Quran, it will tell us about how we should dress, how we should talk, how we should raise our children, how children should love their parents, how they should stand with their mother, how they should be supportive. Uh, there are other parts of the Quran that speaks about the oneness of God. God is one, how we should submit ourselves to God. There's another part of the Quran that speaks about the stories of Moses, Abraham, Zechariah. So all these are in the Quran. The hereafter, life after death, all these are mentioned in the Quran.
So
Signs.
is that what we would know as the Book of Genesis in America?
Oh, book, yeah, well,
You said Abraham and Moses.
yeah, Abraham, Moses, that from the biblical standpoint, yes. But for us, it is like a surah. The
separate
entire
stories.
Quran is not separate. It is all combined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was revealed over 13 years to the prophets.
So how come you don't eat pork?
Well, even in Christianity, I think there are portions of it that support this previous intention. Well, Islamically we don't, because first of all, God commands us in the Quran that we should not eat.
Where?
Two, in the Quran.
Okay.
وإنما حرم عليكم الخمر والميتة والخنزير وما أكل السبع. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made upon you forbidding alcohol, has made forbidden upon the dead animal, eating dead animal. Allah has made forbidden upon you to eat pork, blood, because there are some cultures that we eat blood. So all these are being forbidden upon us to eat. So Quran mentions us not to eat pork. Scientifically, there are multiple reasons that I do not remember at this point, but there are scientific reasons behind it. And I think one of the famous priests that I think he's a pastor in Texas, he speaks about it very good. I don't know his name, but he's well known.
Joel.
Joel?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, he has a very
Are you
good.
gonna say Joel Stein?
No.
He has a very good episode upon it.
Yeah.
Very good guy.
He's not in Texas. He's in the.
So, are you good?
You said Joel.
Yeah.
That's the only Joel I know.
With your
Okay.
classes that you had today, were those all for boys today?
Boys and girls.
Boys and girls?